It always seems to come around to this Tira Sukha conversation. When we start to destabilize the joints that should be stable and overstabilize on the joints that should be mobile, we develop, and we do that consistently over a long period of time, the body runs out of its ability to adapt to that. And it tells you that it's losing that ability to adapt by sending you messages of discomfort. Now, you know, it's really important to say that not all discomfort we experience in yoga practice is telling us to stop doing what we're doing. In fact, we have to learn to discriminate between the messages that say, oh, I can't take this for another second, and you actually can, and you can safely, because that's that barrier, that holding, that resistance that the practice is showing you about yourself. So there's a difference between those kinds of signals of discomfort and the ones that we really should pay attention to. So I think the real question is, how can we learn to discriminate more between the messages that are saying stop and you should stop, and the ones that say stop and you go no, right? You know, I can keep going. The general overall rule of thumb that I start the conversation with, at least, is if you're getting that pain signal from inside a joint structure, I would take that as a message to stop doing what you're doing.
From inside a joint?
From within a joint structure, yes. There's a few exceptions, mostly in the realm of specific therapeutic interventions with somebody whose history and anatomy you know. For example, if you're recovering from a knee injury or a surgery or something like that, and the specific thing that you're working on is loosening the restrictions in the joint capsule that have developed as a result of that injury or that surgery, then a certain amount of working through the discomfort arising from within the joint is part of the process. But that's like a physical therapy conversation. You know, I'm talking about like taking a yoga class in a group situation.
And it's not like holding pigeon while your SI is screaming at you.
No, or your knee is screaming, or your ankle is screaming, right. So if you're getting pain that's arising from inside a joint structure, there's nothing in there that you want to stretch, really, because then you're violating the stira element of what keeps that joint together. You know, it's not about. There's a difference between flexibility and instability, just as there's a difference between strength and rigidity. And that's what this great definition of asana that we get from Patanjali is telling us. It's Chira Sukamasanam, you know, that there can be strength without rigidity, and there can be flexibility without instability. There can be, as Jessica Char likes to say, alertness without tension and relaxation without dullness. There can be all of these things, but it requires attention, it requires discrimination, and it also requires us to never put ourselves on automatic pilot and think that we know, because our bodies, like everything else in the universe, are constantly changing. So what may have been safe yesterday to do, for whatever reason today may not be safe, especially as you get older. And you know what? We are all getting older.